I am orgohome, and I'd like to welcome you back to part 6 of my 3.0 layout series. We're going to look at a lot of the work that I've done the past couple of weeks and things to come. So stay tuned. So there's just a few things that I'm working on today here. I decided that I'm going to do a bit of work with the paper mill. You'll see that my long building there is missing. It's because I've glued it together and I've already done the first coat of spray paint to it. It's just outside drying. Next, I'll be painting that one once I fill in that little hole there. And I've already got parts out of the sprues so that I can start building that one and prep that for paint as well. And then we'll see what happens next. When building a big kit like this, I usually like to start with some of the primary walls, some of the big ones, just to gain the shape of it. I'll do like 2 or 3 and then I'll attach it to the base, just so I know that it's lined up properly with the bottom. And then basically from there I just do the rest of the walls. And then, it all comes together eventually. And obviously once this whole main body part is dry, I've got a couple more walls to do here, then I can obviously do the main color of it, the outside of course. One of these walls here, basically the front wall, just like how I cut that out on there, this is going to end up going here as the front doorway. It was actually predetermined for a door as per Walther's. It was marked out, so I just ran my knife along there and then popped it out and then cleaned up the sides a little bit. Makes a nice doorway. Now after putting up the 3 walls, that being the most recent one there, just waiting for it to dry, I've also attached them all to the base, but because the base is not sturdy because I cut off that piece there, I've compromised some of the integrity of the building itself as far as, how square is it going to be. So a piece like this here, which actually acts as another back wall here, that's actually, when I install this, is going to give it a bit more stability. And it should square it up a bit more before I continue adding the sections to the front. Okay, so after the 2 back sections have been attached there, you'll see that obviously they're staying up, no problem. I want to keep to the structural integrity of this build, make sure everything's square, because it is a very square building, as you can probably tell. So I've got this piece here, which basically completes the front here, attaches that side to that side, and it should square things up nicely on the top there, and it'll hold this and close enough to that when I add the front piece and that little side piece here to it, it'll all fit perfectly, is what I'm hoping anyways, but I mean it should, right? Alright, so everything seems really square with this. Pretty good. I only have 2 pieces left to add there. Just the front door and the side to the front door. And then it's ready for paint. I don't have to worry about adding the roof pieces yet. It's not too big of a deal. I don't even need to paint them because I normally put the black grip tape, quote-unquote sandpaper, on top to make it look like it's like a tar roof, kind of like I did with this one here. And it actually has texture to it. Depending on how you look at it, it's a little bit of a different color. It's hard to say. The weird thing about the paper mill buildings That's the only different one as opposed to all these other ones here, because this has the corrugated siding, where that's a brick building. This one here is on a concrete platform, because you can see the concrete at the bottom. Same thing with that one, but even the other one doesn't have a concrete bottom like these two. So they're all different in a little way each, which is very weird. Now, even from this one here, I've got that hole there. On this one here, I took the piece and I filled it in, because this is the piece here that's it's going to be going up against the wall there. So that one's ready for paint, but I'm going to have a conveyor going from here, this window, to one of those windows there, whatever lines up. And it's just going to go above the track, but I'll add that after. It's one of the many parts here. I think it's yeah, it's this thing here with all the windows and stuff. So that'll be fun. Alright, and there you have it. So the main body of it is done. All walls are fully on there. Still waiting for a bit of the glue to dry. I don't want to, you know, prematurely move it and then, you know, things become unstuck. So one more thing I'm going to do here. It's not in the instructions. I'm going to take the door that I'd cut out of here, and I'm just going to put it on the inside, just like this, but on the inside, just to kind of make it look like, you know, obviously that continues, right? Kind of like doing one of these, but on the inside there. And that should give it a bit more of a finished look in there, instead of, you know, seeing a bare wall, because once I paint this, the inside is probably not going to be all that painted, but that would get painted, and that's what you're going to see, right? Because you're only seeing it like this angle here, but only it's going to be up there. So I kind of want to do with it. Doesn't say to do it in the instructions, but I don't see why not. Okay, so this was the first building. I mentioned I took outside to paint. It turned out a little bit darker than what I was hoping for, but it's still okay. I'll see what I can do to lighten it up after. Basically, with that there, I used Rust-Oleum camouflage green. It's, you know, flat green. Yeah, it's very accurate. I mean, I chose it, so no complaints. But I'm gonna do the 3 buildings, so this one, that one, that's going to be in there, and then obviously this one here that goes there. They'll be all done the same color. And then I'm going to see about like different, if I can do like a striping of some sort in there, just to kind of give it a more like, well, this is an industrial building kind of look. I still have all the, obviously the roof parts to do as well. It's okay, it shouldn't take too long. And then there's a lot of like venting, and there's some stairs to it as well. And then I gotta obviously do the doors, because there's 2 doors there. Just a lot of detail to it, but it should be okay. Alright, so one last look here before it goes out to the paint shop. This is basically the building that's just completed. And as you can see, I did add that little wall in there, which you don't really, like once it's painted, it'll kind of blend in, but at the same time, you don't really see the inside, so that's good. That's all covered up. And as for other plans for this area here, I'm gonna probably put a fenced-in area here, and then I'm gonna have mounds of sawdust in there. And I still want to do a road here somewhat. Don't know how I'm gonna do that, or if I have the room for it, but I'll see what I can do, and hopefully there's no problems adding that. And I did the roof, some of the roof sections here. A couple of them are good to go, the rest of them are here. The ones that I needed to cut up, they're cut up. But things are slowly coming together back here. That one's going to be the same color as that one there. So the 2 green buildings well, 3 if you include that one in the middle there, and then the one red building. Okay, so kind of working on some of these roof sections, just you know, to kind of get it out of the way, get it done, and then that way, when the building's done, I can just pop it in place. Basically, I know I showed this before, but I'll do it again, just in case any of my subs have missed it, or if you're a new subscriber, I can show you what I do, and then if you feel like emulating it, at least you'll know what to do, where to get it from. Sorry, I've had a terrible cold all week. I think it was like a week and a half. Couldn't stop coughing. I'm slowly getting there. But take a look. So this is the roof panel here. Depending on the kit that you get, there's going to be like a little house-shaped thing on the top there, like an office or whatever. It goes at the very top of that building there. I won't need that. So for this one here, I'm just going to have it pointing like that, the grooves here pointing down, so it gives me like a flat surface. So a lot of people have different ways of making roof detail and whatnot. This is my way. This is grip tape. Grip tape, usually you'll find this on the top of a skateboard. Some scooter kids will have that on their scooter, so that it gives them grip, right? So it's also known as sandpaper to anybody in the construction world. So there's different grits, but I'm not sure the grit that would be on this particular brand of grip tape. But basically you buy it as a sheet. That's typically how wide it is. I think it's about, I don't know, 2 feet wide, or well, foot and a half. Yeah, about a foot and a half. I don't know, maybe a foot and a half. And then it's like 3 feet, maybe about 3 feet long. This one's obviously been cut down because I've used several pieces. But basically I just trace the square here, use my X-Acto knife, cut it out, and then it has a peel backing where you take off the back piece and it's sticky. And I don't even have to use any glue. I just peel it off like a sticker, stick it on, and then I just go along the edges, anything that's sticking over, just trim it off, and then I can pop that in place on the top there, just like I did with these ones, right? Obviously I had to use bigger pieces. That one there, I believe I used two pieces, but you can't really tell because I blended it a little bit. And then obviously one big piece for there as well. So, I mean, it works. It looks, looks decent. And then you can even use weathering chalks. I think on the bakery that I did for Dave, I used some colored chalks on top to make it look like certain spots were rusting, dirty, certain things like that. And you could probably even add some of like the woodland scenics if you want to add like a puddle, just in case there's like a little bit of like it was raining recently. You can add like a puddle just for realism. All that's really neat, and you can definitely do that with this. So we're gonna try a couple of different things, but I'm gonna get this on here and then we'll go from there. Next on my list of 100 things to do, basically taking some of my drywall filler, and filling in the crack right along here between where I put the fascia and where the I guess this is, well, the cork or the plaster cloth, basically. So just filling this in all the way around. So this might get a little messy. And I basically use a drywall compound. Got this big bucket for like, I think it was like $8, so not bad at all. And I got these tools here from Michaels. Yeah, I know they're mostly for like clay, but I don't know, see what I can do with them, see if I can kind of shape some of this at all. I got it half price, so why not? And I'll definitely need to cover up my track because I don't want any plaster on there, so I'll go ahead and tape the track and then pull out the plaster. Okay, so here we have an area where there's the plaster that's put on there. It's dried. It's it's solid. I've got a couple of tools that I use, like this pin, bit of a drill bit, and this other tool, which there's a couple of different sizes for this, but it just has a little metal ring on the end there. It's good for just kind of pulling and shaping and whatnot. So I'll show you what I do here. So kind of been working on it a little bit at a time here as I come along. Some of it's okay, some of it I think I'm getting better at doing this. It takes obviously a lot of practice, but now you can see I'm starting to really shape some of this here so it looks more like rock instead of it just looking like plaster. So from about here on this way, it's fresh. I guess you could say I put it on this morning, and it's still somewhat soft, but it's hard enough that it's staying together. So basically what I do, I go over and I take this and I take off the little pointy pieces that just occur from well, here, we'll take a look at this because this is already, so see how there's like little things that stick up. So I get rid of those because it just looks like paste, right? Rock doesn't do that. So I do that, all along here. And then I take my level, and I can only do this with one hand. So every so often I make a straight line using this, and then I scribe down. So you can see I made a line like here, and here, and here. And they're supposed to be the blast lines, right? Because this was all rock. So put the dynamite and then blow it up and whatever. So it's all blast rock, right? So got all the lines. So when I do that, well, I do that first, and then I come back with my little pick here, and I don't know if we can see this at all, but I kind of scribe out what would look like rock form. In certain areas, I'll make some lines as well, right? And I just kind of go along here, doing this right along. Sorry, my hand keeps going in the way. Now this plaster's on here pretty thick in some places, just to make sure I've got, extra, so it sticks out. I don't even know if we can see this or not. Yeah, go along there with that. And then in some areas, okay, I'll clean it up a bit with this thing. I just push it all down to the bottom. I'll go over it after with a vacuum, picking up all the little shredded pieces. You can kind of see there how the rock is taking form, and I got to do this literally all the way around. Painful, but it'll look good once it's done. Okay, so as you can imagine, like I've said, I get really ahead of myself, and sometimes I get impatient and I want to try things and I want to work on certain things. So you'll notice that there's some grass. Yep. So I knew that this was going to be like a little bit of a hill here, just a grassy hill, and obviously that's going to be all grass and bush up there because it's a hill, right? So I had done the brown all in here and all in there. You can see that did the brown there and a little bit there. And I actually painted a lot of this brown too because this half wasn't done. The other half was. There's still a little bit in there, but it's a whatever thing. So I had gone right around on the outside here. I think I got to right about there. Yeah. And I did the grass. Now obviously I didn't do on this side of the track yet because I still have to do the stonework right around there. I haven't gotten the colors for that yet, so that's kind of on hold while I don't know what's taking me so long. I gotta go get it. But I already had the brown paint and I had the grass and stuff here, so I kind of started there and I worked my way around. I'll show you what else I've done here. Coming around, yeah, I've done basically, I had started with the other side and then I'm like, you know what, this is going to be all grass as well, so I basically did just like from there to there the other day, and once I did this and I let it dry, I was like, well, I guess I can do here, like the ballast. I can't do the ballast on this yet because I need to obviously finish this along here and put the fascia up in order for me to do that. But I was able to do that, so just to there, and then that still has to be soldered, but no rush. But I really needed to get the ballast done in here so that basically what I can do is I can seal this piece down because that lifts out right now, but it won't once I'm done with it here. So I hope that looks cool. And my cat's getting into things. What are you doing? God, it's just noisy. So that's kind of what it looks like for now. Still working away. And I did another piece over there, a little bit of the hill. I do it in sections, you know, it's easier. Just to show you what I do use. I already had the dark green, so I usually start with some of that. This is actually a container where I did a 50-50 of the dark green, and it's a bright green. This is like a dark green, greeny brown, and this is the 50-50 I did of both of those. And then Dave gave me this here, which it almost looks like dead leaves, fall leaves, you know. And because I want to try to do like a, you know, September, October kind of theme. See, I kind of have them sprinkled on there a little bit. So, and then I obviously, for mainline like this, I use mostly the medium ballast, but I do have a little bit of fine ballast mixed in with it because, you know, no two rocks are the same, right? So there's a little bit of a mixture to it. In certain areas, like when you get into the switch here, I use mostly the fine ballast, and you'll see here this still, you know, moves. I actually did it. I was very happy with myself, pleased that I didn't glue it closed, so that whole thing works there. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, still a bit of work to do. Obviously, I have to fix all this, but I have to wait till I glue that down in order to do, like, you know, in here and in here, and I have to finish along here as well, and then I can continue on. But that's kind of what I have right now, for now. Well, that's basically all she wrote right there. Not too much else to talk about right now, so I'm not going to bore you, I'm not going to keep you. Stay tuned. I've got a couple of reviews coming up, and some more neat stuff. Still working on the layout, so there's still lots to do. And maybe some more op sessions. I'm going to have a giveaway coming up. I'm at about 350 subscribers now, so I'm hoping that we can make it to 400, maybe even 500. That'd be nice. Turns out I can only do lives from my computer until I reach 1,000 subscribers, and then I can do them right from my phone. So, you know, I'd like to be able to do that. So hopefully we can get more subscribers. Big shout out to all my current subscribers. Thanks again for watching and commenting and liking. It's most appreciated. And we have some more stuff coming your way. But I have a train to catch. So